What's up, Titans fans, and welcome to another episode of Titans Global Podcast. I am your host, Maximus Titan Fan, and with me, as always, is my good buddy Link. What's up, bro?
What's going on, guys? Good to be here. We have a draft class. We have a schedule. We are ready for training camp. We are ready for regular season football. I guess preseason first, then regular season football. But important thing is we are closer. And we got a lot to discuss tonight. Schedule release, just some other side topics. But things are going to start getting busy. So stay with us, like, subscribe, comment, all the important stuff. And most importantly, get in the comment section. We want to hear from you what you have to say about this upcoming schedule. And with that, I guess we'll get right into it.
Yeah, man. What's up, guys? Aaron, do you like that? Do you like that intro, man? That was made for us by our own Aaron Isbell, man. What's up, man? Good job on the countdown, man. I really enjoy that. Super awesome. So yeah, God, we're all fiending for football, aren't we? I don't know about you guys, but every single practice video that I get to see or get to look at, I immediately watch it like, I don't know, 15, 20 stupid times because it's the only football we're getting right now. But let's talk about the schedule since it just came out. We'll talk a little bit about Legarius Sneed and what he needs to be doing this year. And then we'll talk a little bit more about easy and hard wins the game. Plus, we have a new segment for people, Scoob Scoop. What's up, Bryce, man? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you in the comments. Like we said, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, that is where we want you to do it. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We do it basically for nothing because, we just love talking about the Titans, really. But let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about some schedule release. We all saw it. Damn it. When was the schedule release? Was it Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. All
Yep.
right. Yeah. Wednesday night. I don't know. They did not release the preseason for some reason, which is out there, but I did not get the times for it, so whatever. I'm not even
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
preseason.
There's no times anyway. You got Bucks week 1, Falcons week 2, Minnesota week 3. The crazy thing to me about preseason is this is going to be, I believe it's the first time that they've done 2 joint practices. So I think they're doing one with the Bucks, one with the Vikings. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I know typically there's just one joint practice, then you have your 3 preseason games. But having 2 preseason games in combination with those joint practices, I think that's going to be big for these rookies in some of these position battles. So I do like that this year.
I agree. Not only that, we've got some really good competition this year
Mm-hmm.
in a bunch of different positions. So camp is going to be a little more fun than usual. Plus, there's huge roster turnover, and a lot of these guys we don't know what they got yet. Like uh, Femi Oladagio. I
Mm-hmm.
have a hard time saying his name, but bro, every video I've seen of him so far, he has an amazing burst off the line,
Yeah.
which just makes me so excited. And then I started to think about it, and the question for me is how much of an edge position is really just physical attributes, and how much of it is an actual skill level? For me, it's like 75% physical and
Mm.
25% technical. What do you think? Just wild question, way off topic.
Yeah, no, I think I'd go opposite on that because you look at guys like Harold Landry and even a new name coming out with James Pierce to the Falcons. Like they have all the raw talent in the world. The question is, can they find? Well, I guess really that question seems to be answered for the Titans with Landry. Can they find that second move? Can they find that second kind of skill tree to branch off of to give them something different? So for me, like, yeah, I think you've got to have the power, you've got to have the raw talent, but you also need to develop. And I think that's kind of what we lacked from seeing in Landry. Now, obviously, there was the injury, kind of wasn't the same since then, but it's still just the simple fact that, like, yeah, you can have all the talent in the world and all the, raw skill, but if you can't find the techniques, if you can't, kind of create a skill tree, then you're going to have trouble finding success in the NFL.
That's actually a pretty good answer, and it makes me rethink my own percentages right there. I mean, honestly, we weren't talking about this or anything. This is just something that's been swimming around in my brain for a couple of days. But uh, you make a very valid point. The whole problem with Harold Landry is he didn't have a counterpunch. That was the biggest problem. So I guess technique plays a little bit more of a part of it than I thought. But I am still excited about Femi Oladaje.
Well, and that's that's I don't want to say it's what concerns me, but with me saying what I said, then you go get get Oladipo out of UCLA, and I mean he's really only been an edge for 1 year. He's a converted inside linebacker. He's got the raw talent, and that's kind of just what scares me a little bit because it's like, can you get this guy ready by week one? Because I feel like he's going to have to be a contributor this year with the lack of talent you have at the edge position. He's going to have to make a contribution in some way, and can you get him up to speed? Because I'm with you. I've seen the burst, I've seen the speed, I've seen the talent level, the ceiling of him. But can he be technical enough to kind of outsmart some of these tackles in the NFL? Because I don't think he's proven that yet. I really don't. And that's not all on him because again, he's only played one full year at edge. Everything else he did was inside linebacker.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. And I guess I'll leave Oladipo alone. Good lord, I am butchering that poor child's name. Um, and we'll jump right into the schedule. The NFL was not fair, if you ask me, on this one. For Brian Callahan, anyway. We get off to a really bad start, and we lose like 6, 7, 8 games in a row. It's going to be bad
Mm-hmm.
for Callahan, I believe. He's going to start feeling some pressure, and
Yeah.
the fact that they started us off at home in Denver, and then we come home to Nashville, and we get the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is what's up, Ben? New to the show, what's up? But I feel like we're getting kind of shafted here in the first 2 games, um, and I'm not gonna be shy about it or anything. I'm just 2 L's right off the bat, week 1 and 2, boom, loss. But what do you think about that, brother?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't be too upset. I think you have based on win percentage, you have the fourth easiest schedule in the NFL. So, as a whole, all in all, now granted, the division's not in a great spot at this point with the AFC South. There's still a lot of questions in the air with all these teams. But that being said, I think the way that your home games were set up, I don't hate it. Obviously, yeah, week one's tough going to Denver, but look, Denver's got a lot of questions too. So, granted, you're battling the environment with the altitude. There is some truth to that, but it's a winnable game. It's a winnable game. This kind of reminds me, was it 2 years ago? It was an away opener at Cleveland. Does that sound right? And it ended up
That
being like a pretty close game, pretty hard fought. Both teams trying to figure some things out. That's kind of what this feels like. This feels like 2 years ago, that away opener at Cleveland, kind of a weird situation. Tannehill had a lot to prove, but they ultimately found a way to pull it out. So this is kind of what that reminds me of. So it's a winnable game. I don't hate it. And then, yeah, you come home to LA. That's a tough one. So yeah, I mean, an 0-2 start isn't going to be a cause for panic. I can see it happen, but realistically, I think you can split this 1-1 if you play your cards right.
all right? I would be super happy with 1-1
Oh yeah.
in these first 2 games. Um, but I agree with you that they are winnable. It's just a little tougher than I would like to start with our brand new quarterback.
Well, I mean, hey,
But
what better way to test? That's
I'll say
one of
this.
those prove it games.
I'll say this. Denver will be a hell of a test for our newly revamped offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I think they lead the league in sacks,
Mm-hmm.
and they do it with 7 different people in rotation. So it's they're it's not like there's one guy you got to get rid of and then you're fine.
Mhm.
That's the problem there. But then we get Indianapolis at home, and we finally catch a break. We finally start getting everything right. O line starts meshing a little bit. Cam starts building a little chemistry with the receivers, the running backs, all that good jazz. And I think we finally get a win there. Um, what do you think?
Yeah, do you have what is the Colts' first two games? Do you have
Uh,
that offhand?
nope.
Uh, I'll talk while I figure it out. But I mean, yeah, look, if there are questions about any AFC South team, I think the Colts kind of lead the category in that. Weird situation at quarterback. You've got Richardson, who I mean, you don't know. I'm sure he's going to be available, obviously, but you had the whole situation last year where he quit on the team. But I mean they're formidable. I mean they've still got Jonathan Taylor. They've got talent on the outside. Um, they're always going to have a decently stout defense. But yeah, I mean, I think Tennessee should be favored in this game, even if they're 0-2 to start the season. I still think they're probably going to have the favorite in this game. Just trying to pull up their first two games. I haven't found that yet, but so they're week one Dolphins and week two Broncos. So kind of the same situation. They do get the Broncos at home. Week one, they actually open with two home games. So yeah, I don't know. It's their first away game of the season. Feel like the Titans are favored. I see that as a win, but I don't want to. I don't want to put anything in stone.
I agree. It's hard to say, oh, we're gonna win this game, but
Mm.
that's the one that I think we have pretty good chance of winning. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But Houston, God bless, in Houston, man, I really don't like giving Houston wins, but I have to say that as a loss for us. Just off gut feeling, just gut checking originally. Have no idea. This is really way too early to be doing this crap, but schedule's out. I thought we'd do it anyway.
Yeah, I would look if you're able to split the games with Houston. I think that's huge. This first one being an away game, I like Houston in that one. Personally, I just think they've probably got the most talent. Arguably the best receiving group in the AFC South. They had a pretty good draft, so yeah, I see that first one as a loss. If you're able to split the second one on November 16th, great. But yeah, I don't see him getting out of Houston with a win in Week 4.
Yeah, I agree with you. But the next few weeks look pretty good for us. Arizona, I think, are a very easily, not easily beat team. I shouldn't say that. I think that's a decently good chance of a win. Better than 50%. I'll say that. Las Vegas, I think they're still trying to figure things out. Even with, I think Austin Genty is going to be their biggest weapon this year, and we are kind of built to stop the run. So I see that as a win too. And then we have a pretty decent game between us and New England. Vrabel comes back to Nashville.
Hmm.
Revenge game. This is way more than just a game. So what's your thoughts first of all on the first two games, and then what do you think about Vrabel coming back? What do
I'll
you
be
think?
honest, and I'm just going gut on this. So we already went over the first what would that be 6 games. I think the Titans actually have a pretty hot start. I think 4-2 is definitely achievable through the first 6. And then I feel like you're going to get Mike Vrabel to town, and he's really going to take the wind out of some sails of Titans fans. So I've got that one as a loss, just going on pure gut emotion. I don't know. Look, when Mike Vrabel was here, you can say what you will about him, but he always had this team ready to go, ready to fight, ready to scrap. They were going to be the more physical team, especially when it was something that had to do with a rivalry.
He's a good
New,
motivator.
it's not going to be any different when New England comes to town. I promise. So that's going to be a tough one. So I've got that one as a loss as of right now.
Ooh,
Yep.
we disagree on that one. I actually have that one as a win, only
Okay.
because he stupidly went out and got a bunch of ex Titans players, and it's not like they were really good ex Titan players either.
And they were good for
Whatever.
him. They were good for
I
him.
mean, all right, sure, that's a decent, valid point, and we'll
Yeah,
see how that works out. I
we
don't know.
will.
If he got Austin Genty, I'd be more afraid of him. I'll say that. Anyway, let's see. That leaves us at Indianapolis
Mhm.
and then home against the Chargers. At Indianapolis, oh my God. I tried to be light, man. I tried to give myself a little bit of leeway because I didn't want to be too homerish on these picks. But at Indianapolis, I gave us a loss, and LA Chargers were just a little bit too much for us to handle at home. So again, I say another loss. We're heading into the bye week 4-5. What do
Hmm.
you got?
I actually have that indie game as a win, not because I'm confident, but because I don't think you sweep. Well, I know you don't sweep Houston. I don't think you sweep the Jags because the Titans just aren't able to sweep the Jags every single year. They always find a way to split that one.
I
Um,
know.
so if you're going to sweep a team in this division, it has to be the Colts. If you're going to make a playoff push this year, that's number one on my list. You have to beat the Colts in both of those games. So I've got that one actually marked as a win. I do agree with you on the Chargers. I think that's a tough, close loss. So I'm going into the bye week at 5-4.
All right, so we're a little bit opposite on the bye. I think you're 4-5, or you're five and
Mm-hmm.
four. I'm 4-5.
Yep.
So either way, I don't think we're in too bad a shape there. If we enter the bye at 4-5 or 5-4, either one, I think Callahan's cool. He doesn't have to be on the hot seat anymore. He's more relaxed. He can call the plays as he wants to. Nothing forced, and that's what I'm hoping for. Nothing forced. Forced is not good usually. So,
Where do you like? How do you like where the bye fell? Play nine straight, then finish off
perfect.
eight straight. You like that?
Absolutely perfect. Right in the middle of the season, just like I like it. Literally,
Okay.
split the season in half. That's what I want every bye week. I hate early and late buys. Mm.
I don't know. It's weird for me because normally I favor the late buys because it gives you time to get healthy right before the playoffs. Um, I think I almost would have liked this buy to be maybe a week or two sooner, just because going into this year, knowing you've got a rookie quarterback, I would like to have that reset a little sooner. Play your first 5 or 6 games and then reevaluate in the bye week. Kind of fix some things, get a level head. If you're off to a hot start, great. Calm down, reset. Let's finish the season right. If you're struggling and you're around that 3, God forbid 2 win mark, it's like use that bye week to kind of reset. So I actually would have favored a little bit earlier this year. I think last year was a little earlier. What was that, like a week 7 by somewhere around there?
No,
Um,
it was earlier than that, man.
was it
We had
really?
a
Okay.
really early bye week last
Okay.
year. I was kind of pissed about it.
Yeah, I would actually favor that this year. I would. And normally I favor late buys, but this one being right in the middle, I mean, I can't really complain. I guess I'm okay with it.
All right. Well, I'm good with that. All right. So excited, excited to talk about this new segment that we've brought in. If you guys are following me on Twitter, you already know about it. Well, and Facebook. But if you're not, then get ready. It's Scoop Scoops, man, and I don't have any music for his intro, so we're just gonna have to kind of wing this. Uh, don't hate me, Scoop. All right. Da 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 da, ba da ba da ba da ba da, Scoop, Scoop, da da da.
That's perfect. That's perfect, bro. That's perfect. Tighten up, everybody. How you doing? So I'm just glad to be on tonight. Excited about the season. To get it started off, I figured when we started the draft off, first of all, if I was all for trading the pick, and when I found out the Giants had all those picks they offered us, and we didn't take it, and then I went to the install with Buck and Greg Cosell and listened to them and listened to Coach Callahan and listened to a few of the interviews with Cam Ward. Now I'm kind of glad that we didn't trade. I'm kind of glad we got Cam Ward. So I'm excited to see his future. I'm super excited about the running back we got from Michigan, Mr. Superman, the Mullings. I'm really excited about that pick. I think that he's going to end up being the number 2 running back before the year's over. Let me see what else we got. We got the wide receivers. I'm not even going to try to say the one guy's name, but I'm excited about DK. I think he's got a shot at making the team and doing something special, and we're excited to see how this goes. It's going to be a whole new season, a new game plan, new team. Offensive line is switched up everywhere, so that's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully they can get gel good because, like I said, we got week 1 in Denver, and from what I hear, their defense was like top 5 and or number 1 in sacks and top 5 in all the defensive stats. So that's going to be a hell of a first test for Cam Ward, and so I'm excited to see that. Excited to see that we got a few home games in a row this year. Last year they spread them out pretty good, so this year I'm excited to see that we have, I think, 4 games in a row close to the end of the season. So that's pretty exciting. Um, but besides that, I was hoping you fellas would be on here with me. But there we
Well, let's
go.
change
Hey,
it
here
up,
we are.
brother.
Hey,
Let's
There we
do
quick
it.
go.
quick
Makes it
question.
a little
So
easier for me.
there you go. So we've been through the draft. We've been through some
Yeah,
free agency moves. Favorite offseason move besides Cam Ward, because I think everybody's kind of high on Cam
right.
Ward with the leadership stuff. So minus Cam Ward, favorite offseason move. It can be draft, free agency, you name
My
it.
favorite
Ooh,
offseason move. I would have to say, man, I'm really high on that running back from Michigan, Mr. Superman. That's what I've been
Okay.
calling him. He's my favorite pick. I think he's got a great chance of being the number 2 running back, maybe before week 5. I really think he's going to take. I think he's going to take Spears' spot.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't know, man. I just something about that kid. I went back and watched a lot of his film, and that man, he reminds me of. He's a beast. He's going to run people over. I can
tough
see
runner.
him having 8 or 9 or 10 5-yard touchdowns this year.
That sounds a lot like Derrick Henry vibes.
Well, it
You might
sounds to
want.
me, I
Okay.
got a
All
lot of
right.
Lindell White vibes from it, man. Like y'all
Okay.
remember
Yeah.
when Lindell White and Chris Johnson were together? I think Lindell White had like
Yep.
That was a
14 or
good one.
15 2-yard touchdowns that one year,
Yeah.
and so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the corner that we got to.
Hmm.
I think he might be developing into something. I know he's young and all that, but I'm really excited about him. So, and I'm excited to see J.C. Latham back at the right side. That's got me very interested
Yeah.
because he seemed like he did pretty good on the left side, but you could tell he was not ready to be on the left side. He
Yep.
did good, but he struggled a lot too. So, having him back in the left on the right side, I think will help the offensive line out a lot more. So, like I said,
Okay.
we need that offensive line to gel fast. We have a lot of tough games coming up right off the bat, defensive wise. So that's
Did you see
that's
them
about,
pictures of him slimmed down?
what's
Yeah.
that?
Did you see the pictures of him slimmed down?
Oh, I know, and I like that he cut his hair too.
Yeah.
Holy moly, man. He looks scary now, dude. I
Yeah,
would not want to go up against that man.
Man,
So
I'm really excited about the season. Like I was telling my buddy the other day, if we hit 7 wins this year, that's a successful season.
that's fair.
Very successful season
Yeah,
with 7
I
wins.
agree.
yeah.
Anything
So
over that is amazing.
let me ask you this. So I mean, I'm with you. I think the offensive line. I'm pretty excited. I think it's relatively shored up. Quarterback, obviously, you're going in with a rookie. Where is your biggest hole still on this team? Is it the receiver group? Is it edge? Is it safety? Is it corner? Where, in your opinion, what is still the one area that concerns you
Middle
most?
linebacker.
I like that answer. I would agree.
That's
Middle
a good
linebacker.
answer.
Yeah,
Middle linebacker is still my biggest. Because I can't say the kid's name we drafted. Adagio. Is that how you
yeah.
say his name?
That's who we were
Yep.
just talking
I'm a
about. He
Deja.
came
Yeah.
on.
Yep.
Yep.
He has a lot of potential, So we'll see how that goes. But for the most part, I feel like middle linebacker is our biggest weakness right now.
Yeah.
For
I
me,
Yeah.
agree
I
with
for
you,
mean,
man.
me
Outside of Cody
where
Barton,
personally.
we don't have a.
are you expecting a guy like Cedric Gray to kind of take the reins? Do you have confidence in something like
I
that, or
do because he did play pretty well at the end of the season.
okay?
And I think this training camp is going to help him a lot and preseason because I believe a lot of these guys are going to play in a lot of preseason games, a
Yeah.
lot of preseason this year. I just got a feeling that we're going to see a lot of these young guys in a lot of preseason games. I think even some of the draft picks that we have, like I could see
Mhm.
Cam Ward playing 2 series in the first game right off
Yeah.
the bat. At
Yeah,
least 2 series, if not more.
and that's going to be interesting too. That's something we're definitely going to talk about closer to preseason time. But I mean, you've seen Callahan. He said he wants to play starters in preseason. We saw it do him last year with Levis, but we didn't really see any type of concepts. It was a lot of
Right,
handoffs. It was a lot of short games, the screen stuff.
right.
Now, granted, that's mostly what we saw in the season. So I mean, maybe that was his concept at that point. But to be fair, I think Cam Ward. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get pretty quality minutes in all three games, barring that
I
he
think so
just does
too. He
something
needs it.
great in the first two. Yeah, absolutely.
He
Yeah, I mean
needs it.
that's where he's going to get better. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that closer to off season or preseason time. But yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yes, for sure.
Let
So
me
let
ask
me
you
ask
this
you
then.
guys a question.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, hit it.
All right, I've been thinking about this one all day. So for training camp and for the OTAs, what do you guys expect to see from Cam Ward? Do you think that
Hmm.
do you think he'll show improvements? Do you think because like I said, I was the whole time I was on the trade train, especially after I found out all the picks that they gave up to get Cam Ward to keep him, to make the
Hmm.
pick. So he's still on my nervous list a little bit, but I want to. Hopefully, we see a lot of improvement. So that's all I'm. Would ask what y'all think.
I'll
Let
let
me
you go
just say,
first because I could rant
yeah.
about this.
Let me just say this real quick. Besides all the physical attributes that makes Cam Ward a good pick here, the the personality for me
Oh,
is what
that
sold me.
yeah, me
All
too,
right,
man.
I've watched tape on him. I see, there was an interview, Buck Rising. I don't even really like Buck all that much, but he had a great show with Callahan
Yeah,
where he
I
was
was there at
talking
the
to him.
install.
Mhm.
I was
All
there.
right, yeah.
That's when
So the
Callahan changed my mind.
so Callahan talks about that play where the middle of the line gets bad. They're bad blocking on the offensive line part. The middle starts to clog up, and somehow Cam Ward gets that ball out on a sidearm around
Right.
the defender and actually hits the wide receiver. He just doesn't quite pull it in. But the point is that was an amazing play, and it shows how much of cool he has in his
I
face.
think
So
character too.
Mhm.
A lot
yeah,
of
and
character.
that's the thing, I mean, that's the thing for me. It's not so much the physical play, which that is an amazing play, but it's just the attitude about it.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna lose my cool just because I see dudes throwing at me. I I don't know. And everybody who meets him, everybody who's in the same place as him, says that he gives you just such a feeling, like a vibe.
You
And
can't
that's
shake him,
exactly
man.
what we need. Yeah, that's
You can't shake
exactly
him.
what we need. I'm more than thrilled. Obviously, I've been advocating for him since pretty much the last game of the
Right.
season, but
I just got to see improvement every week. That's all I want to see. Man,
yeah,
I
I'm
just
excited.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, you said most of it. I mean, the personality, the leadership traits, it's all there. I mean, for there to be so much information, like going back to Cristobal at Miami and saying, look, after 48 hours of this dude being here, I mean, he's running practices, he's talking to the receivers like he's gone to school with these kids for 3 years, and I mean that alone is super important for me having that leadership because I think that's what you lacked in Will Levis. You had all the emotion, you had all the talent, but you had none of the leadership. I mean,
right,
he was a hard critic on himself, but you could see when things weren't going right, he just broke down. He's over by himself. He's not talking to players. Players aren't talking to him. That's what you lacked last year, and you got the complete opposite in Cam Ward. The other thing I want to see is look, everywhere he's gone, he's been successful, and he's made people around him better. That's what I want to see early. I want to see him in the
exactly.
preseason. I want to see guys like Colton Dow, Mason Kinsey. Hey, Traylon Burks won't be there with the surgery,
Them
but
guys aren't
I
gonna be
want to
on the
see.
team anymore.
Yeah, well, but I want to see these dudes that we've written off the last 3 years.
Right,
I want to see them in a preseason game, and I want to see Cam Ward just dot him up. I mean, look, his favorite receiver at Miami in Restrepo was undrafted.
right.
So that right there says all you need to know about Cam Ward because the best receiver that I had wasn't even talented enough to make the draft. So for me, that's what it's about. That's what I want to see early. I just want to see him elevate the people around him, and he's done it at every spot he's been to, every school he's been to, every football team he's been to. He's been doing it his whole life. He's been the underdog. He went from unrecruited to number one overall pick. Just don't do too much.
The
The
most
the
underrated
expectations
under number one pick.
absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, the expectations are going to be high, but when you look at his traits, the level headedness, the humility, the fact that he's on Twitch streams talking about how you've got Traylon Burks as a top four receiver in the league. Like I love that. Like I absolutely love that. Like he's humble. He knows he needs talent around him. He's gonna do what he can to be the best leader he can. He wants to win a Super Bowl his rookie year. I don't know if we're gonna see that type of level, but I love the demeanor. I love the leadership. Um, I'm I'm sold on him at this point. And I
Well,
mean, things could go south. I just don't see that
right.
happening. I don't see guys like this just fizzling out.
If that O line holds up, I don't think there's any other really rookies that could challenge him for rookie of the year.
Yeah, I mean Ashton Genty's out there. I think he's going to play a pretty big role.
Yeah,
You've
but how
got
many
some.
times does a running back run rookie of the year?
Yeah, that's true.
It's a
That's
good
true.
point.
That's true.
You know, that's
It's
unless he has a 2,000-yard season right off the bat. I
yeah.
don't
I
think
mean,
he's going to win rookie of the year.
it's going to
But
be
you
an
never
uphill
know.
climb. I don't know. I actually don't know. I looked that up a couple weeks ago as far as who the favorites were. I think Genty was a little bit ahead of Cam Ward.
Right.
Curious to see
But
where that stands when the season starts.
if
But
Cam
but
Ward
yeah, I
was
think it's
drafted to the
possible.
Giants, I bet you he'd be number one on the list.
Hey,
Absolutely.
hey, if you don't think Cam Ward can win Rookie of the Year as a Titan, go back and look at Vince Young's Rookie of the Year season.
Right.
It was pretty terrible. Like it was pretty terrible. Now, granted, it was a time when the quarterback was becoming the new thing. This dude's a
Right.
national champion out of Texas. Like he had the pedigree, but it was a pretty bad season, all in all.
I think he came on in at the end of the year right there, right? Like 4 or 5 games left.
Yeah, and he had a decent amount of rushing yards, but I mean, for the
Yeah.
most part, it didn't blow you away. So I mean, it's definitely possible for Cam Ward to come in and take over as far as rookies go. But I'd love to see it. If I'm not
Especially if we're
mistaken,
in the
that'd be the
8 to
first
10
one
win
since Vince.
range, he definitely
Yeah.
has a shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
If
Go
Cam
ahead.
wins Rookie of the Year, do you think Callahan can get Coach of the Year?
Oh, definitely going to win Coach of the Year.
I don't know if I'm going that far. I will say this. Aaron
Right.
brought up a good point here. These are for sale. If you want them, all you have to do is DM me. We'll talk about it. Titans Global Podcast shirts. I don't really make any money off of them. I just try to promote myself and the show with them. So that's what it is. Yes. Anybody that wants it, just like I said, DM me, and yeah, we'll go about it. But Scoob, before we get back to this schedule talk,
Okay.
I want to hear a good prediction from you of what you think Cam Ward's first season is going to look like. I
Like
want,
you want a
I
number
want,
prediction or just a
yes,
prediction?
I want a yardage, I want touchdowns and interceptions. Those are the three things. Aaron gave it to me perfect here. So
Okay.
I want those three things. Let me hear it. Go for it.
All right, here we go. I'm going to say 3,800, 40 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 7 or 8 interceptions.
Dude, I love that. You
Yeah.
know, with those numbers,
But I'm
Cam
also
Ward
going to
would break
add
all Titans rookie records.
maybe 3 or 4 fumbles into that because he does. I know he worked on it and fixed it a little bit better, but he still has a little bit of a fumble problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to also add a couple fumbles to that.
I'm not gonna lie. I am interested to see how his pocket presence
And that
evolves
all's going
into
to
the
depend
NFL.
on the O line, man. Because if you watched the Miami games, he had 15 seconds to throw the ball.
Exactly.
Dude, he got flat footed in that bowl
I
game. He
mean,
was
he
just
had
like, I
so
don't
much
even
time
care
in those
anymore.
Miami games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, I counted 10, 15 seconds on most of the plays.
Yeah, he's gonna have to figure out how to make him decisions a lot faster in the NFL. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Especially with
So,
our O line.
right. But like I said, on paper, right, our O line has probably went up from 40% to about 70% on paper.
Yeah, I said that last
So
year
we'll
too.
see how that goes.
I said the same thing last year. I'm
Well,
not
to be
I'm not
honest,
convinced till I see it.
let's
Right.
be honest
Exactly.
though, our O line in 2024 was much better than our O line in 2023.
Right.
It was a very polished turd. Yes, compared to
I
2020.
mean, come on, man. Left tackle, if
The
nothing
good
else,
thing
was
about our O
way
line
better.
now is we have a lot of veteran presence on the O line now.
There you
So
go.
that'll help out
And
a lot.
my favorite draft pick, other than Cam Ward, obviously, is Jackson Slater. I think
Right.
that kid has so much potential to start not only at the right guard position probably next year to take Ziegler's position, but he can also start at center. So if Cush has a little hard time coming back
Right.
and, Levin just quite ain't getting meshed with the other guys, throw him in there, man. I'm sure he'll do fine.
And to not give up a sack in 4 years, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, kid's got some great numbers.
Yeah.
And, you say he went to a really small school, which he did.
Yeah, he
But
did
if you
not give
look
up
at
any sacks at Sac State.
Right.
if you look at the Senior Bowl, he does hold up well against an
Dude,
advanced
he's a mean
level of
dude, man, on the
competition.
Yeah.
field.
So,
He's
yeah, I'm
mean.
interested to see how he does against NFL style competition, though. So,
Yeah, I can't wait
that's
for
another
training
one I've
camp,
got
man.
my eye on.
I'm excited about training camp.
So, before we show our sponsor, I guess commercial break, I guess is the best way to call that. Give me your final thoughts for tonight, Scoop.
My final thoughts are I'm excited about this team. Not like I was last year, because last year the Titans kind of put it out there that we were going to be great. And this year, Borgonzi backed off that and said we're looking for first downs and not touchdowns. But all the moves that were made and the draft picks that were picked and everybody that he brought to the team are all dogs. They're all have longevity. They're all stable. They don't get injured. And all those things I like. And there's a lot of veteran presence on the team now to maybe find somebody to elevate the team. And if the O line holds up and Cam Ward does what he's supposed to, this can be a very fun season. And I'm excited for it, and I can't wait. I wish this Sunday was week 1.
Me too, brother. God, we
But
are
I know we
wanting
got
some
to wait
football.
still. So, besides that, man, I love you guys. And thank you, Max, for giving me this opportunity. I will get better.
You're good, bro.
Hey, we'll
And
refine this, man. This is all
yeah,
a trial run right now.
right. And I love the music that you did, bro. Just keep doing it. I love that. 'Cause
All right, brother, man. Hey, we really appreciate you having on the
yes,
show,
sir. I
and
love you
you
guys,
guys will
man. I'm
see a lot
always
more of
listening.
Scoop.
Keep up the great work, fellas. Keep it up. Tighten up, fellas.
Thanks, brother.
I know.
Tighten up. All right, so let's get back. Before we do that, let's show our sponsor because we got to give love to them. But 40 seconds, we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
What's up, Titans fans? Maximus Titan fan here. Are you in need of professional excavation services? Look no further. Red Zone Builders has the expertise, experience, and equipment to handle all or any excavation project, big or small. Whether you need land clearing, site preparation, trenching, foundation excavation, or any other excavation services, they have you covered. Their team of skilled professionals work diligently to ensure your project is completed safely, efficiently, and to your satisfaction. Trust the experts at Red Zone Builders to get the job done right.
By the way, just a little behind the scenes action. Like 75% of the time that commercial's playing, I'm making faces at Link, trying to get him to laugh. Uh, all right. So anyway, back to the schedule. I don't
Where
know,
we
man.
at?
It's just
Where we at? You're 4-5.
yep.
I'm 5
I'm 4
4.
and 5. You're 5 and 4 at
Okay.
the bye week.
Okay. All right, I mean, that's success, right?
That's I'm
Like
happy
that's
with that.
like I'm kind
I'm
of looking
already
at this.
happy.
Well, I'm kind of looking at this schedule now, and it's like, okay, I predicted them to be like I thought 7 wins would be like
Great.
top notch, and now I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, crap, I'm at 5 at the bye week. Like, I don't know. I mean,
I did the
it
same thing.
I will say, like, and I'm not this is a much easier schedule than last year. A much early looking at it now as it comes out, this seems to be a much easier schedule than last year. I think it's the fourth easiest when you look at win percentage. I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate the schedule at all.
I don't really either, to be honest. I'm not huge of a fan of the way it starts off. The first 2 weeks is kind of brutal,
Yeah,
but after that, I think it's very winnable for the Titans. So it'll be interesting to see how much. And I'll be honest, man. Most of the games we lost last season were because of
quarterback
bad
play.
quarterback
Yeah.
play and bad special teams play. And all we've done this season is get faster, better tackling, and we got a better quarterback, in my opinion. Way better quarterback. So I feel like, we're already ahead of where we were last year. But
You talked earlier about Callahan possibly seeing that hot seat if
mm,
things don't start off good early. Is there a number, like, let's say at the bye? So that's 9 games before the bye. What number in your mind makes them question their coach at the bye week?
all right, so my absolute, because I do best case scenario, worst case scenario, and then meet it somewhere in the middle.
Uh,
That's how I do my predictions. If there's anyone out there wondering what my key is, so my worst case scenario at the bye is 1 win.
oh, okay.
If we have 1 win at the bye, yeah, bro, he's feeling the heat, man.
See,
He's sweating balls on that sideline.
I'm not even that generous. I think if you're 3-6 going into the bye week, I think there's a serious possibility you have an interim coach coming out of the bye week.
Ooh,
I think that's a real possibility. If now there's factors that go into that. I think for that to happen, you would need to see another regression at quarterback, similar to what we saw last year, like where Levis comes in, it's not good, it gets worse, it continues to get worse. We're talking about backups. If Cam Ward comes in and there's just no development whatsoever, and you're looking at 2 or 3 wins, I don't think there's any way Callahan makes it out of the bye week.
so here's my thing. If Callahan conducts himself in the way that he did last season, then I think we have a problem.
Okay. Yeah.
If Cam Ward makes a really stupid bonehead move
Hmm.
and he walks out there and says WTF on
Yeah.
the camera like he did at Will Levis,
Yep.
we have a serious problem.
Because now that's a personality trait. It's not this
Exactly.
made me frustrated. It is now this is how I coach. Yep. I
Exactly.
agree.
And
100%
that
agree.
can't happen. So there are a lot of things, key things that I'm looking for and looking out for to see what, the way he's going to react to things, because this is
Yep.
really this is his season.
Mhm.
How are you going to adjust yourself to what happened last season to this season? And you
Yep.
have the guy that you want. Clearly. I mean, you look at Miami's pro day and tell me that he isn't just as happy as a fat kid eating cake.
Mhm.
You tell me that, now I'll tell you that you're a liar. Because he was, oh my God, it was so clear at Miami's day that we were drafting Cam Ward, or at least that Callahan wanted Cam Ward.
Right.
Didn't matter
Yep.
what anybody else wanted. Callahan wanted Cam Ward for sure.
Yep.
Anyway, so coming out of the bye week, we got Houston in Nashville, and I'm sorry, Titans fans. I really just think that Houston is a little bit better of a team than us this year, and I think that they sweep us. So I gave that a loss.
Yep.
After that, I've got us in pretty good shape against Seattle and Jacksonville. Those are both wins. Seattle's just trying to figure things out with, Pete Carroll and Tim Kelly, and my God, that's going to be an offensive cluster, if you ask me. There's too much offensive mind on that team. Plus, you throw in Geno Smith, who was great for Carroll last time, but I just don't think he's going to have the same success with him this year. You got Genty, but I just don't think that's enough. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Anyway, doesn't matter. I say we win against Seattle and Jacksonville. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. And the Seattle game, first of all, the Texans, I do think unfortunately that's probably a sweep, going in the opposite direction for us. Seattle's weird because like that's a team where I could see them making a playoff run, or I could see them having Jalen Milroe starting against the Titans by that point in the season. Like that, like it's just one of those teams where it's like they're kind of in that win now mentality, kind of putting all their cards on the table. And I feel like if they don't find early success in the season, the Titans may be facing Jalen Milroe that week. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But I did agree with both of those. I've got them at 6-5 going in, and I think you're 5-6 after the Seattle game.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so Cleveland at home, Cleveland in Cleveland.
I'm so glad they play Cleveland. I'm so glad they play Cleveland. That's just such a crap show.
By that game, I really feel like they're going to be in such trouble that they have no choice but to start Sanders, and it's going to be Cam Ward versus Shadur Sanders, and they'll make some kind of big deal about it.
We should do betting odds on which quarterback the Titans will see on December 7th.
Oh my 14. God! Okay, yes.
Like Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Shadur Sanders. Like who's your favorite right now? Is it
Flacco
Sanders?
is my favorite.
Okay.
Flacco to start the year.
Okay.
And then after Flacco, is himself for 3 or 4 games, I think Sanders starts to pull some serious attention, and I think the coaches by probably week 6 or 7 are just absolutely pressured into putting him in because they got no chance in hell anyway. It's the Browns.
That's fair.
They do have a decent defense, though. I do have to say that.
I'm telling you, man, I'm reading between the lines. They're throwing out all these videos making Shadur Sanders just look like the next Joe Montana, which is so weird because you took
After
Gabriel first.
In the 5th round.
You took it's not. I don't even care that he was drafted in the 5th. I don't care if he was drafted in the 2nd. By the way, you took Dylan Gabriel first. Like that's what's crazy. You're not even the first quarterback taken on your own team. Like and now they're hyping Shadur up. Like I don't get, like, there's something weird about that situation. The whole thing is so weird.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that soap opera plays out, but I'm assuming that it's going to be very similar to a lot of other prima donna quarterbacks.
Fair enough.
As far as Kansas City goes, damn it, I hate Kansas City, especially in December. They are in Nashville, but I still think that's a loss. And then I think we end the season on good terms with New Orleans at home and Jacksonville at Jacksonville for the last game of the season, which some people are guessing will be the game that determines the division, which I think is laughable. But I do think that we win both those games, so I have us ending the season with an 8-9 record, and I am basically dancing naked in front of my house because we won more than 7 games. Because, like we talked about earlier, yeah, 7 games to me from last year to this year would be a godsend. But after looking at the schedule, it's very plausible with the roster that we have that we could win 7, 8 games. So, what's your thoughts on that, brother?
Yeah, I'll fly through these last few and just get to it. But I think you split the Jags because they just can't find a way to sweep them. I think San Francisco's a little too tough. Kansas City game's going to be interesting. That's kind of their Christmas game on the 21st. That's going to be pretty neat. Saints have a terrible situation at quarterback right now with the Derek Carr retirement, which was
Yeah.
just absolutely wild. So I don't know where they're going to be by week 17. And then obviously the split with the Jags. So I can't believe I'm doing this. And we're going to have to do another prediction after preseason or before preseason. But I've got them at 9-8. And I don't want to. I'm telling you. Like I'm trying. I tried so hard to put them at like 6 wins. But just if you look at the schedule, like where your home games are, who they're against, the travel time between where the bye week falls, like it's just hard for me to find more than 8 or 9 losses. Like I can't find 10 losses, and that again, that's probably going to change. Like I promise. But just early release, early thoughts before training camp, before preseason, like it's favorable, and I've got them at 9-8, which is insane.
All right, Scoob. No, first of all, and second of all,
I'm not a
when I was
homer. I promise I'm not a homer. Absolutely not. I still think this team's going to be terrible. I just couldn't find enough losses.
my buddy at work is he just is a really nice guy. He doesn't care about football or my show, but he acts like he's interested anyway. And he asked me, because I've been talking about doing this schedule show and the predictions, what my end of season prediction was. And I had it already at the early goings of today, and I told him 8 wins. I think we're going to have 8 wins this year. And he said, "Is that a lot?" And I said, "Well, it's a hell of a lot more than I thought we would a month or so ago."
It's almost half.
And he said, "So are you being a homer?" Exactly what Scoop said. Are you being a homer? And I said, "Man, I'll tell you this. I don't know until we do the show tonight. And if Link says that we win as many games as I do or more,
Oh,
then no, I'm
geez.
not being a damn homer." And that's why I got so excited when you said 9.
Yeah, I mean, for the people just tuning in for the first time, I'm usually the pessimist.
Yes.
I find a way to bring the mood down. Like if there's happiness, I find a way to kill it. But I'm telling you, like if you're a Titans fan, which I am, admittedly, this is a favorable schedule. Just with the way things line up, with the teams you face. Because look, if you're the Titans, you have a lot of questions still. You have a lot of questions in the secondary and linebacker and quarterback at this point. You have a lot of questions. But look at who you face: Denver, Arizona, Vegas. I'll throw the Patriots in there, the Colts twice, Seahawks, Chicago, and the crap show they are, the Saints and what they just went through, the Jags who are always trying to figure things out. Like all these other teams have questions too. Like you're not playing the Buffaloes. You play Kansas City. That's one great.
Yes.
You're not playing Buffalo. You're not playing Baltimore. You're not
No
playing.
Minnesota.
You're not
No
playing
Lions.
any of the NFC North. You're not playing. That's so. Yeah, when you look at the schedule, you have questions, but so do they. Like this schedule really plays in their favor. So I don't know that you make a playoff push at 9-8. You probably just narrowly miss the playoffs at 9-8 because you dropped 2 to Houston. So I still don't think it's a playoff team. But for a rookie quarterback coming into his first year, you couldn't ask for much better. You really couldn't schedule wise.
Absolutely, I agree with you, dude. At first glance, especially when they announced the first 2 games we were playing, I was pissed, man. I was so upset. I didn't watch the schedule release show. I was like, "F it, man. I'll see it, on Twitter an hour later." Yes, man. Come on, give us some love about the shirts, man. They were designed by me. Plus, they have a whole back to them, by the way. I know peace out part. But anyway, again, not trying to hawk my crap on people. Anyway, just I feel like we're gonna have a decent season this year, and damn it, I'll be upset if we don't at least have a halfway decent season. And yes, I do think we will have a primetime game. I know we didn't get one, but I do think that one of our games will be flexed to primetime, whether it's Cleveland versus us because of the Sanders story. I don't know. There's a couple other games I've thought of that might be flexed. I can't come up with them right now because I'll be honest with you, I have drank a little bit of beer and I kind of need to use the restroom pretty dang bad. But other than that, and sorry, TMI, what any final thoughts on this schedule? We wanted to talk about Sneed and some other things too, but again, I gotta pee. So
Yeah, no,
any
I mean
final thoughts?
we'll get to it. It's still a long off season. We got a long way to go. Just as always, make sure to keep staying in touch with us. Be sure to tune in. Any breaking news and stuff we try to bring you guys. We're pretty active on all platforms. So if it's your first time here, thanks for joining us. We do this as often as we can. We'll do it a lot more regularly as we get closer to the start of the season. But thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, tighten up.
Tighten up.